I want to talk about something that is not often talked about. In my opinion, combat isn't really touched that much. Sure, you've seen a video about it here and there, but comparing it to other topics within Minecraft, it needs more spotlight. So in this video, I'll talk about combat on Bedrock Edition and Java Edition, then compare them to the CTS, Combat Test Snapshot, and talking about the benefits it will bring to the base game audience. So let's start with Java Edition, since it's the more well-known version. The famous 1.9 combat update changed Java's combat so much, and it doesn't necessarily mean for the better. Before that, Java's combat were heavily CPS based. I'm talking 1.8 PvP. And what I mean by that is the more CPS you have, the more chance of you to win the fight. Well, you might argue that it also involves movements. While I can agree on that, CPS is the major problem or factor here. While they did try to fix this with the 1.9 update, I feel like it also raises more problems than it fixes. Number 1, the attack cooldown is too slow, and when you don't wait for the attack bar to recharge fully, you deal less damage. In theory, this solves the problem, but it doesn't cover every situation. For example, imagine you're fighting more than one player or mob, right? You're in a crowd and you're panicking. So through instinct, you would spam your hits, but you wouldn't realize that it's not dealing the max damage, thus leading to your demise. Number 2, shield PvP is slow and unentertaining to watch. I would say that I'm not that good at shield PvP. In fact, I'm very bad at shield PvP. But I don't need to be a pro gamer at shield PvP to point out that it's boring because it is slow. What else should I say? Maybe you do enjoy it, and yeah, I can see why you enjoy it. But for me and for most people, it's just moving at a slow pace. It's just boring, not entertaining to watch. There's nothing else much to it. Number 3, axes. Yes, axes. They deal more damage than swords. I mean, look, when I first notified of this news, I actually think that it's logical because axes in real life are heavy and swords are supposed to be more of a nimble and flexible weapon, but using IRL references to determine the damage of a certain weapon in a game, it's not really a good idea, especially games like Minecraft. Lastly, number 4, which isn't really a big deal, but on Java, whenever you switch items, there will be this cooldown that happens at the start, meaning if you were to switch to a sword, for example from another hotbar slot, the sword would need some time to fully charge and deal max damage. In a game like Minecraft where switching items and weapons are crucial, I don't know whose idea was this to think that it was a good feature to implement, because logically it just doesn't make sense. Alright, I've touched on Java Edition, now it's time to move on to our flagship Minecraft version, the Bedrock Edition. Yay! The combat I am more familiar with because I've been playing the game for 3 years in the PvP scene. But that doesn't mean I am good at it, not even close. Either way, that doesn't matter for the purpose of this video. So Waffle, you may ask, what's up with Bedrock Edition? Well, you see, Bedrock Edition's combat is more similar to 1.8 Java combat. With a twist, it has a funny knockback. And what I mean by funny is that it is inconsistent. Believe me, I've tried PvP in vanilla worlds, and for some reason the players are just choppy, and the more CPS you have, the more knockback you will build up, pushing the player further away while having them outside of their reach to hit you because of your high CPS. It's just very unbalanced. And not to mention Bedrock's horrendous regeneration. It takes so long to fully heal, it's so sad. Though with this in mind, the Bedrock players have created a workaround for this. Servers, they usually have a plugin that smoothes out the combat, while yes, different servers have different knockbacks sometimes, and some servers keep the critical hits while others disable it. This is because Bedrock PvP remain untouched and unbalanced. It is also shallow at times when you're doing some PvP especially. For me, I've played it so much that it has become boring. Even though yes, it is fast-paced compared to Java 1.9 plus combat, at least Java's combat is more stable and consistent. Though that doesn't mean you can't find enjoyment out of these two combat systems. I feel like they should just unite the best of both worlds, and that perfectly brings us to the Combat Test Snapshot that I'm gonna be talking about. I'm pretty sure you've heard of CTS if you're a PvP addict like me. But for those of you who don't know, CTS stands for Combat Test Snapshot, that was worked on by Jeb himself. The Combat Snapshot stopped development, unfortunately, as the team had to work on the big major updates. That time I believe it was the Nether update and the Village update, I think. I'm not sure. But yeah, had to start development on it because they had to focus focus on those major updates. Though with those being said, the Combat Snapshot did bring a lot of positive changes, and I'll list you guys some of the changes. Number 1, you can now hold to attack or spam to attack, though it makes a tiny difference. And what will make a big difference, however, is to wait for the attack bar to fully charge. This time, instead of max damage, it will give you maximum reach. When holding to attack, the reach you get is 2.5, while when you wait for it, you'll get an extra 0.5, making it 3 blocks reach. Tridents also got some reach upgrades to 4 blocks, I'm pretty sure, while other tools and weapons have varying reach. Meanwhile, axes have their reach shortened and damage reduced. Shields are more balanced, while the delay upon activating it has been completely removed, meaning it's instant when you right click to use the shield. Both also made some changes. They are more accurate and this test snapshot, but it'll start to fatigue and play a shaking animation after 3 seconds, reducing the accuracy upon shooting it. There's also changes regarding food items. Liquids, consumables such as milk, honey, potions, and stew have their consumption time delayed, making it faster when you're eating them. Eating interruption is now a thing, disabling you from chugging that stack of gapple in a PvP fight. There's also some minor and detailed changes which I won't be going through because it's just too much, and for that I will provide a link to the Reddit thread or post in the description. Overall, I am very positive towards these changes, and I am hoping for Mojang to continue the development of this test snapshot and make the snapshots official. Update in combat will not only unite the community but opens up the possibility for exciting and fresh gameplay. In the multiplayer scene, this new combat will obviously boost PvP servers, seeing as the new combat will bring fresh changes to PvP. It will be more exciting as it is fast-paced, just like the 1.8 PvP and Bedrock PvP combat, while having it balanced. Meanwhile, in the PvE scene, Jeb notes that the mobs need buffing. This could open the possibility to improve and more challenging dungeons to go along with the mobs. While having different varieties of mobs through stats and models, this could be the time to introduce biome-based mobs having their design and attack set to match the biome. For example, imagine a jungle zombie spawns in a jungle and attacks you with a whiplash that's made out of a vine or whatnot, while having ice zombies throw ice spikes at you that inflicts frozen damage through projectiles and melee damage. Talking about mobs, the bosses in the game like the Wither and Ender Dragon mainly, they could use some buffing, like really use some buffing. The Ender Dragon specifically should be more challenging, seeing as it's the endgame boss. Talking about here the endgame boss, and it can easily be defeated with no armor and some freaking beds. The Ender Dragon could be expanded to the movesets and such. I could go into details, but the video will just be me daydreaming, to be honest. But yeah, like imagine you're just naked, just spawn in the world, and you speed run until you reach the end, and you got some beds with you, and you want to kill the Ender Dragon, and you just use that bed to kill the Ender Dragon. You don't even destroy the end crystals. Basically, you just wait the dragon to purge. You place a block or something to block the explosion trajectory or line. Then just wait for it to purge here and there, and then boom, you're done. Doesn't make sense. Like, it's the end game boss, man. You gotta be more challenging rather than some beds, man. Like, what the heck? In the weapon and item sections, Mojang could introduce weapons from the Minecraft dungeon universe, seeing as it has a lot of them. It'll be nice, not gonna lie, to have that lightning hammer, the Mjolnir, oh my gosh, and the sickle where you can dual wield. Like, wow, bro, like you can actually attack very fast with it. This also means that our flashing table friend could finally get a use in terms of projectile related crafting, maybe. For example, a longbow that can be crafted only through the flashing table, or the spectral arrow crafted with glowstone only through our flashing table friend. In my opinion, with the flashing table, fishing rods should have upgraded uses. For example, a fishing rod that can pull you towards the enemy, or a fishing rod that can be upgraded to have better durability, or hear me out, a fishing rod that lets you swing around like Spider-Man. Like you fish, or like you hook up to a block and then start running and jumping and lets you swing. Imagine how cool that would be. Like, yeah, I know you can imagine that. You don't need me to like animate it, right? You know, you understand me. Yeah, that'd be so cool though. Lastly, just a quick note, but Mojang improving the game through audio and visuals will do a lot. If you were to just add a new animation to attacks while having satisfying sounds to accompany it, it will spice up the game even more. Look at this example. Like look at this background info that I have right here, right? Like wow, like yeah, like boom, bap, and pow. Like, yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean? I'm saying. in the end, do you know what? Did you see what Minecraft will improve a lot through this combat update, since this update will impact the play directly compared to recent updates such as the 1.20 Trees on Tails and 1.19 Mangrove. The wild update. No, look, like the updates are great, right? But you don't find Mangrove Swamp or the Cherry Grove or the Warden City that often. But combat, you would notice it instantly, because when you use the weapon or when you start attacking something, you'll see it in front of your face. Like, oh wow, look at the sword. They go boom boom and swoosh. Like, seriously, man, who wouldn't notice that? Compared to like finding a structure in the lost ocean or whatever, you're not gonna go through that. You're not gonna see that every day in your normal Minecraft playthrough. No, it's combat. It's something that's in front of your face. Like, you know what I mean? So like, yeah, that's all I have for today. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
Whoa, chill. Yes, sir.